Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why there is such a thing as too high of a field of view, and I'm going to be breaking down a lot of misconceptions about field of view. I hope you guys enjoy this video. We're pretty much just going to get right into it, and the first thing we're going to talk about is what's actually the perfect field of view. Right now in the background, this is what 80 field of view looks like, and I'm going to soon adjust it to 103.5, and then after that I'm going to put it at 120. For me, in my opinion, something between 100 field of view and 120 field of view is going to be the best. I use 103.5 or sometimes 105, but for me, the reason I do that is because I primarily played on console for the vast majority of my Warzone career at the start, and then I switched to PC. So when I switched to PC and I was playing at 120 field of view, what it is on right now in the background, it just was too much. It was too zoomed out. Close range gunfights felt like people were way further away than they actually were, especially coming from 80 field of view. And the other thing is long range and mid range gunfights were made more difficult because I just couldn't spot people as easy. When Caldera had a lot more vegetation and I was playing that on 120 field of view coming from console, I could barely see anyone. So for me, a middle ground at 103.5 was what was perfect. This gave me a higher field of view than console. This still allowed me to feel like I was moving quick, but it also made me actually be able to spot more things. And I think this is something to really consider. This isn't to say that 120 field of view is bad and you can't use it. If you are comfortable using it, if it matches your playstyle and the way you like to use the guns, then yeah, just use it. Genuinely, pretty much anything above 80 field of view is just going to be better in general than whatever console has to deal with. If you just even look in the background, this is pretty bad, guys. This is what console field of view looks like. I'm about to change it right now to my 103.5, and it's going to make a noticeable difference. It is just absolutely unbelievable that console players have to play on this. It's not that it's just absolutely game-changing once you switch to higher field of view, but it's one of those things that just feels so much better. I don't know if you guys know this, but the higher field of view you have, the faster it looks like you're moving, even if you aren't actually moving faster. So you can be doing the same exact movement as top players on a lower field of view, but it's going to look considerably slower, and this is something a lot of people don't consider. So it will literally feel like you're moving faster, the game's going to feel better, and you're going to end up seeing more things overall. The reason I really want to bring this up primarily is that a lot of top players, a lot of top content creators, they almost all play on 120 FoV or right around 119. A lot of people think if you play at 120 field of view, you get less aim assist. I don't think this is true in my opinion, but regardless, even if it is, a lot of people play at extremely high field of views. So when people switch from console to PC, they think to themselves, well, I should do the exact same thing. If my favorite streamer plays at 120 field of view, why wouldn't I play at 120 field of view? But the issue that you have to realize is that might not be best for you, especially if you're used to 80 field of view. After I spent months and months, essentially over a year on console, learning how the whole close range gunfight thing feels on that field of view, once I switched and was playing at 120 field of view, I experienced the exact opposite. Suddenly close range gunfights felt off because everything felt super far away and it didn't actually feel like I was able to find my opponent and hit him. It felt super weird, it felt off, and I actually felt way more comfortable whenever I'd switch back to PC for a little bit. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy the higher field of view, because it was nice, I enjoyed feeling like I was moving quicker, but there were issues with it, and it's something that I wish people would realize. 120 field of view isn't some magical recipe that's going to make console players better if they have the option. It is going to make for a better experience, in my opinion, and that's the way I feel, and I'm sure many would agree with that, but it's not going to make you objectively instantly a better player because of the whole field thing. Once you get used to it, it's pretty undeniable how good it is. But it does take a little bit to get used to, and you have to consider that, and I inevitably ended up just staying on about 105 field of view. As I said, I'm using 103.5 right now, but that's primarily because I'm playing a little bit more Caldera, and I'm comfortable playing anything up to even 115. The other reason I actually really wanted to bring this up is because we are less than 3 months away from Warzone 2, and if a lot of leaks are to be believed, Warzone 2 is going to have an FoV slider on console, so in a couple months, this is going to be much more relevant to a lot more people than just PC players. And this is something I genuinely think is going to help bridge the gap between PC players and console players, and it's going to make for a much better experience on Warzone overall. There are multiple different settings that PC has, ranging from things like field of view to FPS bonuses if they have the hardware for it, and just tons of different things like NVIDIA filters. And all of those little things are going to give them a slight advantage over console players. And so even if you have two equally skilled players, the PC player is probably going to come out on top in most situations. That's the unfortunate reality of Warzone right now. It's not that you can't succeed on console. I certainly was a very good player on console. I dropped 38 in Verdansk's console. I had a good time. I had a 3 point something KD. It was good. It was just, but once I switched to PC, I played at a much better level in terms of my objective gameplay, in terms of the stats, and also in terms of my subjective gameplay, in the way my clips look, in the way that my play looks overall, and just the way that it feels. I feel like my movement is a lot better on PC because it just feels like you're moving faster, so I feel like you're more inclined to want to use good movement, and I just feel like all of those things really add up. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of short and it's not relevant to too many console players right now, but in a couple months, I think that's going to be a lot different. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good day. It's been Ryan. Peace.